a while ago and I glued it up with araldite. Seems to be doing the job, but I dropped it. Actually, it was in the cupboard up here, and I dropped it about a few days ago. Landed on here, then it landed on my big toe. And, yeah, all dramas, you know. But, yeah, so I think my toenail is going to come off. It's full of blood and everything, but she'll be right, mate. She'll be right. And some milk. I haven't got fresh milk, but I've got this full cream powdered milk, which I'm going to mix up and make it yummy and creamy. And we have a frying pan. Alright, so now the first step to do is to boil these potatoes. So what I'll do is I'll give them a quick peel now. Okay, my friends, now my potatoes here are just about boiling. They're going to boil up, and I've also opened up my beautiful can of smoked fish fillets here, and I've got one onion here which I'm going to chop up now. And by the magic of YouTube, that is already done. Now I've got some beautiful smoked fish fillet here, so I'm just going to break that up and break it up into little pieces. Okay, my friends, I've got all my onions cut up, and I've also shredded my tuna. I've got my potatoes bubbling away, and I've got a hot pan in which I'm going to put the onions in right now. I love the smell of onions cooking. I'll try and pick them all up. Here we go. I'll put some olive oil in the pan. Love olive oil. So good for you. In fact, often I get a bowl of olive oil, and I get some fresh bread, fresh buns, and dip it into the bowl of olive oil and just eat it like that. It's really good for you. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. Okay, that'll do. So give it a bit of a mix around, get the love happening between the onion and the pan. I've had this frying pan for a long time now. It's really good. It heats up everywhere. If you have the flame over there, it still heats up the same heat just over here. Really good heat distribution. So I'm just going to fry these until they're translucent, and I don't really want them browned up a lot. I just want them to be cooked and translucent. So we'll do that now, and we'll get that happening. Okay, my friends, I've got the potatoes here living the dream in the pot. They're probably about 3/4 done now. Got my beautiful onions here frying up in the frying pan. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my shredded tuna and I'm going to plop it right in the pan here. Get it all out, and we're going to put a little bit more of my go-to olive oil, and we're just going to put a little bit on the top here. And give it a good stir, and we're just going to heat it through probably for around about roughly 5 minutes, and then we'll turn the heat off. And after that we'll just leave it here, and we'll give the potatoes a good mash, and then we'll go from there. So we'll just let this cook for another 5 minutes. Okay, my friends, that's just about done now. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab a little bit of butter, and put it in, and then just cook it for about a minute or two. In fact, I'll turn the heat off and I'll keep on stirring it. Butter just adds a extra bit of flavour and richens it up a bit. So we'll just mix it up, and then it'll be ready to put in the mashed potatoes when we've mashed the potatoes. Okay, my beautiful friends, I've done all the tuna and the onion here. The potatoes are finished boiling, so what I'll do is I'll take the potatoes out, I'll drain it, and then I'll put some butter and milk in. Okay, now I've drained all the potatoes. Got some beautiful butter here, so I'm going to pop the butter into the potatoes. Butter is very, very, very good for you. It lubricates all your heart valves and gets them all going. Now, I'm going to put some beautiful pink Himalayan salt in. You know, you've got to add salt to food. Just magnifies the flavour, it really does. You don't put too much in, you can always put some in more in later. And I'll put some lovely milk here. I've made up this creamy milk. So we'll put in about 4 or 5 tablespoons or more. And I'm just going to add some pepper now. I absolutely love pepper, so I put quite a bit in here, ground up quite a bit of pepper, and I'm going to give it a good mash now. Okay, my friends, well, we're about halfway there to making our delicious fish cake. So what I've got here is a beautiful mashed potato, put butter and milk and salt and pepper in it, made it nice and creamy. And I'll take this out. I remember when I was a kid, and my mum used to always make mashed potatoes, and I used to always say, "Mum, can I lick the masher after?" She used to always put a bit more on and she'd give it to me, and I'd eat the mashed potatoes off here. Right, and we've also got our beautiful smoked fish and onions here. So what I'll do is I'll put my fish into my mashed potatoes. Boy, this is really healthy. I eat a lot of fish. It's really good for you. They reckon it makes your brain go, and you turn into this really incredible brainy person. Now you can obviously tell that I'm quite brainy. Let me know down below. Right, so we put this in here, and I'll put it all in. Alright, this is gonna be absolutely delicious. Right, now what I'll do now is give it a good mix around. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, my friends, I've got my frying pan here heating up. I've put a mixture of half of olive oil and half of canola oil in here, and I'm just heating it up, making sure it's nice and hot. Alright, we've got our beautiful mashed potato and tuna here, so I'm going to get a good dollop of this mixture. I've got some panko breadcrumbs here, so all I'm going to do is plop it on top. That was easy. Give it a little bit of a push down, and you know, I thought, why not let's just rev it up a bit. So I'm going to push a hole in the middle here, and I've got some cheese over here, so I'm going to get a little bit of cheese and push it in the middle, just like that. Okay, so we go make it sure it's in a good shape, and then we flip it over onto the other side. Make sure all the breadcrumbs on there, and then we put it into the pan. Oh, the sound of heaven. Right, so we're just going to let that cook away for around about a minute or two, or 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll flip it. I'll put some more in the meantime.